October 18th, 2024 at about 10 a.m. I'm not on fire, that's steam from my coffee. I just realized I'm like vapor coming in. I think his nipple might be on fire, I'm not certain. Yeah, it's just my coffee, my caffeine, depending on where you're from. I feel fine. Anxious. Getting water ready in the tea kettle for oatmeal and brewing coffee all at the same time, so all kinds of wonderful noise going on. I apologize for that. But hey, it's real life. Got this at Ollie's a while back. Got a few of them kind of stoneware with a moon kind of thing going on. I dig it. 204, 206. Digital time or thermometer on the tea kettle is kind of cool. Just got done doing the mind-numbing procedure of applying for it, and I didn't know that the tree did this. Where I work, they've got a emergency grant program for natural disasters and things like that. I think it's new because I don't think that was in place before when I worked there 2 years ago, what have you. But I was told to go ahead and apply by my boss. She said that I might be able to get some assistance regarding the tree, that's leaning on the house currently. For those of you who didn't know, I have an 100-year-old oak that didn't fall on my roof in the classic sense. I don't think there's any roof damage yet. It is leaning on my roof. You can see the backside of I gotta figure out how to upload pictures to be able to put those in the video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I think I actually filmed some of that the other day. I don't know. But you can see how on the backside of the tree, normally the ground is flush. The earth is kind of bulged up on the one side where we're assuming that's where the roots are. They're still covered in dirt, but they're not underground quite, like they used to. So, and there's a very large branch that comes off at like a 45-degree angle from the tree that is now resting on the roof, and we think that we think the roof is holding up the tree, which, mixed bag there. Good job that my roof was able to lend a helping hand to the tree so that it didn't, fall and hurt itself. But there's also the aspect of if enough wind comes and finishes the job, maybe it'll push the tree through my roof. That could be a problem, obviously. So that's a thing. So need to have the tree removed. I'm gonna attempt to do at least some trimming, see if I can maybe make it lighter. I don't want to trim the actual branch that's resting on the roof because that seems like that would be really, really hold my beer country. Because if that's what's holding it up, that just means the tree is in fact going to fall into my house. So we're gonna skip that part of it. But there are a lot of other branches that kind of go over the roof but aren't touching it yet. If they start touching the roof, that means that one branch, which is the lowest, has already gone into my roof. No bueno, we don't want that. But if I can trim the other ones, maybe I can lighten the load. Financial assistance would be, awesome. Everybody down here, as far as emergency management and whatnot, is incredibly backed up, which I'm not mad at anyone. A category 3 just ran across the middle 2/3 of Florida, so there's going to be some damage, and I know there are some people that are much worse off than I am that didn't just have a tree lean on their roof. They actually lost their roof, or had a tree crash through their roof, or had 3 feet of standing water in their house. We didn't experience any of that, but I know people who did. I know a few people that had a foot of water in their house and are still dealing with that. They have the entire collection of their furniture down by the curb because it was wood and it soaked up huge amounts of disgusting water. So, and I know a person or two like that, and we've driven around enough over the past week, whatnot, that we've seen huge piles of things like that by people's curbs, so we can kind of do the math. We know what happened there. People don't typically curb all the furniture in their house unless something maybe went wrong. And with the insurance industry down here, it's hard to say if they're going to get any help, which I know FEMA will help, despite the ridiculous right-wing conspiracy shenanigans. FEMA's on the job. They're trying to take care of things, but there's a lot of people that have needs. And I'm low priority because it didn't damage my house yet. Right now we can do preventative maintenance because it looks like it wants to say hello to the rest of my house. That's not a good idea. That won't help me. So hopefully I'll be able to. I hate bureaucracy, government type forms, and it was very government type form. And they wanted receipts from a vendor, and it's like, I don't have receipts from a vendor because even though I've left, voicemails and emails, no one's gotten back to me yet. So I'd love to be able to provide you a receipt. That means that I got it done. The thing is, I can't afford to get it done this second. Apparently, I did a quick Google. The average tree removal in Florida is in between 700 and 1,800, which that's a pretty broad span from my way of thinking. And I'm willing to bet that my situation would be more towards the 1,800 bracket, just because that was for single tree removal. This is a big tree, and there are complicating circumstances in regards of it leaning on a house. It's not just a matter of going in and extracting a tree. It's more of a delicate surgery, I think. It's just me theorizing, but I feel pretty good about it because I'm fairly smart. Hell, it might even be more than 1,800. It might exceed the average bracket, just because, as many relationships are these days, it's complicated. So, I don't know. But that, and anytime I have to do government forms and whatnot, it gives me a little bit of anxiety just because I hate that. I hate the red tape of bureaucracy. It annoys me to no end. Just like the court system, we've complicated things that once upon a time weren't. It's kind of aggravating. We'll treat your life and death situation, but first fill out this insurance information. That kind of thing. It's like, just treat the patient. Do the paperwork later. And why are there 6 forms here that I have to fill out? I'm bleeding, We've lost our way a little bit there, I think. Just my way of thinking. Maybe I'm too simple. Pix has got a doctor's appointment here in a bit. But I need to make us some oatmeal. We need to eat something. Been a long, weird week. Been helping out at a couple different stores in the area. And I'm realizing how good the crew at the store that I work at is, because the stuff that we're seeing at some of these stores is stuff that our store manager would never, ever tolerate. And at the same time, quite frankly, when our DM starts scrutinizing stuff that we do, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If the stuff that I witnessed at these other stores is acceptable, we are exceptional. So, yeah, no, I'm not interested in your criticism. I redid the peg hook. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, because the whole week's been a blur. I redid the peg hook section in the stationery department. The peg hook section is typically where you have your pencils, your erasers, your highlighters, your markers, your pens, your crayons, mostly your utensils that you would do writing or something similar with. There is supposed to be a flow to it. The typical modular for this is like erasers, sharpeners, and grips, pencils, to pens, usually a section with the bulk packs of pens, like the 10 packs of ballpoints and stuff like that, the 10 packs of gel pens, and there's like 6 different brands that we might carry. And you kind of drift. It's a drifting thematic. You drift from pens like into markers, into art activity supplies, into crayons. So the activity art stuff, you might have glue sticks, like children's scissors, safety scissors. Maybe your scented markers, the stuff that little kids like doing with construction paper and projects and stuff like that. Number one, it's usually 16 to 20 foot of peg hook, about 4 feet high. There was no rhyme or reason to the 16 foot of peg hook here at all at this last store. And every peg hook had, there were a few peg hooks that had one product on it, but most of the peg hooks had at least 2 products, and quite a few had 3 and 4 and 6 different products in the same peg hook. Oh my god, my OCD was out of control on this one. I fixed it. It looks great now. But this is neglect. This is bad stocking. This is people not doing their jobs correctly consistently. When I pull a peg hook off the wall and there's 5 highlighters followed by 6 2-packs of ballpoint pens, followed by 4 multicolor gel pen packs, and after that is a couple of glue sticks. And I know what's being done here. They're stocking quickly and apathetically. They get the highlighters in, empty peg hook highlighters. Then they fill the peg hook, and that gets bought down a little bit. And they get in ballpoint pens, and they see a peg hook that has highlighters on it, but they say, well, there's room on the peg hook. So they put the ballpoint pens on, and they fill it up. And then the ballpoint pens get bought down a little bit. And they have a box that is gel pens, multicolor. Well, I've got room on that peg hook, and you put that on there. I know how it happens, but it's fundamentally incorrect, and that just drives me nuts. That do it right the 4th time mentality. That's how you suck at business. Do it right. and importantly, teach your people how to do it right and expect them to do it right once they know how. And that is not what's taking place at that store. Period. So we talked to the store manager about it and said, hey, we're making your store look beautiful. And she was even gushing. She's like, this is amazing. This is the way it's supposed to look. To which we responded, yes, we know. If it stays that way, it's because you did something. If it does not stay that way, it's because you did something. But as the store manager, the path forward is yours to decide. Because we're not going to be here forever. We're just here for a week or two. This can be the norm, or you can slowly drift back into what it looked like when we got here. It's your choice. Our conscience is clear. We're doing it right. We're resetting your store, because yikes. But, so, not bored. I got a ton of eBay I want to try and get up. Our local post office is down, so we had to travel to a different post office. The door was locked. I could see through the glass the white walls of the building on the inside. It was kind of a black, smudgy, wavy line about a foot up from the floor, which to me looks like a grimy water line. So I know why they're closed. It would appear that they had a foot of standing water in there for a bit. Nope. Yes, I'm going to make the oatmeal in a minute. So, anyway, that's my day. How are you doing? Oh, and I've been actually pretty good. I've been at like 1.5 cigar all week, and I bought a pack of cigars this morning, and I'm currently working on one of them, and I gave the pack to Pix, and I said I only get one a day. I gotta force myself to step down. I'm trying so hard to kick this thing. So hopefully going forward I'm at 1 cigar a day until I'm at a half a cigar a day, and then done. Because I need to quit, and I know that. Addictions are real. Don't ever start. Okay, what that was. Stud in a truck. Yeah, it's Florida. Her. Make some oatmeal. Make it a great day.